You guys really are like the hip-hop early morning, late night talk show.
Breakfast Club is the most powerful, popular urban radio show in America.
Live from the Black Mothership in New York City, it's DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God.
It's different, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what y'all talking about.
Thank you, y'all. Be blessed, I love y'all.
Collectively known as
Breakfast Club, bitches.
So I'm always nervous when I do the Breakfast Club because sometimes you say stuff and it's just gonna get you in trouble.
Everybody wake up.
Get up. This is your time to get it off your chest.
Keep calling.
800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on the Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
This is Jay.
Jay, what up? Where you calling from, brother?
What's up, man? I'm calling from Biloxi, Mississippi.
Jay, what's up, King?
Get it off your chest, brother.
What's up, man? I'm just calling because I drive trucks for a living, and I'm so damn tired of traffic, bro. Traffic is just disrespectful.
Where you live at?
Biloxi, Mississippi.
There's a lot of traffic in Mississippi?
So I run the corridor, the I-10 corridor over to New Orleans and Houston as well.
Oh, see, yeah. You go in the major cities. New Orleans and Houston ain't no joke, so I get it. Just be patient, man, and don't drive that truck like you driving a car. I can't stand when people drive Mack trucks like they driving a little electric car or something, a little Hyundai. Remember, you got a truck, bro.
I try to drive for myself, for others as well as myself.
That's right.
Okay. Well, Jay, do me a favor.
What's that?
Blow that horn, Jay. Come on.
Oh, man, I can't do it. I'm in a residential area right now. I can't do it.
Come on, Jay.
Just don't get that man in trouble. Don't you blow that horn, Jay. Don't wake them people up for no damn reason. No. Don't wake them people up out their sleep, Jay. Don't you do that.
Come on, Jay.
No, Jay.
Jay,
think about the people. Think about the people, Jay, that's sleeping right now.
I wouldn't want anybody to do it to me, so I can't do it.
That's right. I respect that, Jay. Do the right thing even when nobody looking. I respect that.
All right, Jay. I was going to say make the horn noise with your mouth. All right, Jay, goodbye.
Damn, with your mouth.
Right. Wow. Pause.
That's crazy.
I didn't say that.
Envy asked the man to with his mouth, yo.
I didn't say that.
This Monday, man. Show some respect to people.
Yo.
What's up, Mello?
What's up, Envy? I need to bring Charlamagne and you to the front of the congregation. Because never did y'all call Usher the king of R&B like Chris Brown don't exist. Like, are you kidding me?
No disrespect to Chris Brown. Listen, we salute Chris Brown, but Chris Brown would even tell you otherwise, brother.
Yeah, because he got to say that. You feel me? You were supposed to train till your idols become your rivals, and I'm sorry he done surpassed him. Like, respectfully.
That's just not true.
If Breezy won't say it, I will. Chris Brown is the king of R&B, like, respectfully.
So does Chris Brown have an album? Does Chris Brown have an album as good as 8701? Does he have an album as good as Confessions?
Yeah, all right. Confessions, that was just,
okay, Mello. So you lost.
Respectfully, anything after that, Breezy got him.
That's just
like,
not true.
For real, he may have vocal talent over him, but Breezy got basically everything else. That's the only thing I could give him.
Mello.
I just disagree.
Mello.
Yes, sir.
I'm not arguing with you this morning.
I'm not arguing with him about
I'm not arguing with you this morning, Mello.
And it's not a disrespect to Chris Brown. Chris Brown is great
Chris Brown
himself, but
busy.
you know, we got to stop acting like Usher's just not on a whole other level than a lot of people, man.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Chrissy Sue.
Hey, good morning, Mama. Get it off your chest.
Good morning. I feel blessed. I just came from the casino and I came
Hey, what casino? Where you at?
I'm in Queens. I went to the research casino.
Oh, how much you won?
About $1,500.
Hey, congratulations.
Congrats, Mama.
Yeah, as long as I can hold someone to ask you.
Girl, I don't be having it. It's okay.
What you gonna do with that money?
Could have took some bills or something.
There you go. The first right around the corner. The first is next week.
Yeah, next week.
That's a fact.
All right, Mama. Well, enjoy. Have a great weekend with that bread.
You too. Take care, y'all.
Bye-bye now. Hello, who's this? All right, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Ray.
Yo, Charlamagne, Envy, what up? Are we live?
This is your time to get it off your chest.
I got an indoor pool, an outdoor pool.
We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
We can get on the phone right now. He'll tell you what it is.
We live? Hello, who's this?
Yeah, how's it going, man? It's Kai.
Kai, what's up? Get it off your chest. Why you sound so down, brother?
Nah, I ain't down. I just woke up, man. About to start my Uber shift.
Your Uber shift? Where you do Uber at?
I thought he said he woke up smoking hookah. I was like, God damn, you got to get your life together.
He said Uber.
Yeah, man.
Where you do Uber at, bro?
In Brooklyn.
On Brooklyn, okay. Is it true that Uber takes like what 40% of what you make?
Nah, I don't think they take 40%. Once the ride pops up on your screen, you just accept it and you get all the money that's popped on the screen.
Okay.
I don't know what everybody be complaining about.
Well, we appreciate you, brother.
No doubt. Appreciate you too. But yeah, I just want to let all the drivers know when they be on the road, stop with these emotional turns y'all be making. The bike lane is to the right. Every time you drive. Every time there's a driver in front of another driver and they trying to get around, they always make this emotional turn, try to get around the driver in front of them. And I'm always to the right. Drivers, we are to your right. Stop with the emotional turns. You're going to hurt somebody.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, man.
No doubt, man. Have a good day. Bless.
Yes, sir.
You too. Hello, who's this?
It's your boy KP from the Bronx.
KP from the BX. What up? Get it off your chest, bro.
What's up, man? Listen, I'm calling because I want to be positive this morning. Like, in the next, 5-6 hours, I'm getting ready to get on the Carnival cruise and go on this 8-day trip to Turks, St. Thomas, and Puerto Rico.
Hey.
Sam, I know it's going to be a good vibe.
That's right, man. Set the vibes early. I like that. Who you taking, your wife?
Nah, I'm going with the fam. Like, I'm going with one of my close best friends, his mom, sis, everybody like that, my extended family.
Oh, that's
right.
beautiful,
Well,
brother.
enjoy, bro.
Enjoy that, man. Put your feet in the sand of Turks and Caicos.
Huh? Say it again?
I said, put your feet in the sand of Turks and Caicos, man. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, facts. I've been there one time, but only when I was younger, so I know it's going to be great now that I'm adult.
Have you been on a cruise before?
Yeah, it's probably not for nothing. It's like my 9th time cruise. I done been on Carnival, Caribbean, Disney.
Oh, okay.
All types of stuff.
So you're a professional.
Yeah.
You know where you need to go, what time you need to go to lunch and dinner, and how to book all the excursions and all that. You're a pro.
That's a fact. My grandmother taught me a long time ago. We've been going on cruises for years. So, she's not with us no more, but it's something I like to keep doing because, it makes me remember her.
Okay, brother. Have a good one. Hello, who's this?
Hey, man, Jefferson, man.
Hey, Jefferson, good morning. Get it off your chest.
Hey, first of all, shout out all Big 914. Shout out everybody. Shout out DJ Envy, Charlamagne, everyone there. Look, man, if you're black and you're Republican, I don't think that's a bad thing. I just want to get that off my chest, that everyone that's black does not have to think democratically or vote Democrat. That was it, man.
I agree with you. I don't think that just because you're black and you're black and Republican means that you're a bad person. But I do feel like sometimes we vote against our own interests.
But I don't think the Democrats have the best interest because I feel like they're promoting us kind of to stay in a system that doesn't really benefit us in the long haul. That's all I'm saying. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that either. I do think that we're in some very, very, very troubling times right now, though. And I do see, one party leaning heavy towards fascism. But everybody, listen, man, vote your own interest. That's what I tell folks.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent something on your mind, call us up right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Practice. We have offices throughout 4 of the 5 boroughs. Generally, we provide care in underserved communities where there are what often called health deserts. There's no hospitals or not many physicians around, and we try and meet patients who need our care where they live.
Mm-hmm. And I told y'all, I've had every cardiovascular test there is to have over the past few months. I had name some of them, Doc. What was it? EKGs. What are some of the tests?
I think you had stress test, EKG, Holter monitor before you came to us.
Absolutely.
You had a calcium score.
Right. And yours absolutely not only was the best, it's the one that put my mind at ease the most.
Well, thank you.
Especially after I got those results back. But why is it important for people of color to get their heart tested regularly?
So it's important for people of color to get their heart tested, period. And not regularly, because one of the challenges is they're not regularly getting their heart tested. People of color have a almost 1.5 to 2 times the rate of death from heart disease. They get the risk factors for heart disease, high blood pressure. They often develop high blood pressure at an earlier age. It's more difficult to treat. Mm-hmm. They have diabetes at a higher rate, also a risk factor for heart disease. When they have heart attacks, their outcomes are worse. They have a 30 to 40% increased chance of dying from a heart attack as compared to whites in America. And they often have much higher rates, 70% higher rates of congestive heart failure, which is very disabling. And they develop that often at an earlier age.
Well, how can people get tested? Not how can they test it, of course, but they tell you at 45 years old you get a colonoscopy. They tell you at this age you do this. At what age should people be checking their heart? And I go to my doctor, twice a year for checkups, and not one time has he said, all right, well, you need to check out your heart. Are there certain signs where maybe people say you should check out your heart, or certain signs where they should do certain things, or should it be at a particular age where this is where you should start doing it more and more and more?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So the answer to that question, I think, depends on whether you have symptoms or no symptoms. If you have symptoms of discomfort in your chest, shortness of breath, more easy fatigue, not able to do the usual level of exercise, dizziness, lightheadedness, doesn't matter what age you are, you should be tested. Because let's remember, heart disease is the number one killer in America. And even though over the last 40 years, the rate of death from heart disease has come down, it has not come down for the black community. All those gains have been in the white community. So second, if you're not necessarily symptomatic, okay, overall you're working, you feel good, but you have you're 40 and older as a man or 50 and older as a woman, and you've smoked, have a family history of heart disease, have high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol, then you should be tested. Prior to the Sorin heart scan or CAT scanning in general of the heart, the only test we had to determine if you had heart disease was a stress test. But that's not nearly as accurate and doesn't define the heart arteries. As Charlamagne, when you came in, we sent you images of your heart arteries. We gave you a risk assessment, and it's costly stress testing. Almost 10 times the cost of a CAT scan. But CAT scanning now takes 4 minutes or less. If you come into our office, less than 15 minutes of your total time. And you have a fully accurate, greater than 97% accuracy of your heart anatomy, whether there's blockage, calcium, any disruption that could potentially cause a problem later on in life.
Well, I was going to ask, so, you go to the dentist, you have a cavity, they can fix it, right? Floss it, whatever. Colonoscopy, they clean your butt out, right? So now,
he
knows what I mean. They clean it out, they cut off the polyps, you know what it is. So if there is a problem with your heart, what are the procedures can it be done right then and there?
Talk that talk, Dr. Puma. This is good. This blew me away when you told me this.
Yeah, so nationally, Medicare is now approved putting heart stents right in the office in appropriate facilities. New York State has not yet approved that, but our center down in Lower Manhattan is built for that. And we have the latest technology and cardiac catheterization labs where you could have a stent put right in at that time. So
what's a stent?
A stent is a metal scaffold that when you have a blockage in your artery, through an artery in your wrist, we put a catheter up into the heart, and then over a wire through the catheter, we can pass a metal stent over a balloon and dilate it and clear away the blockage.
Oh, so the stent doesn't stay inside of you; it just cleans out.
It stays inside of you.
Oh, it does stay
and becomes part of the artery wall.
Okay, so you have a piece of metal in you. So every time you go through TSA metal detector, it
won't go off.
Okay,
it doesn't go off. It's very small, 3.5 millimeters usually. But no, it doesn't set off metal detectors. You can use your microwave, but it's the most common treatment for blocked arteries in the world.
Can you explain to people what causes heart attacks and strokes?
Sure. That's a great question, and I think it's not only a great question in general because it's the leading cause of death, but in the black community, the risk of it is so much higher. I know, Charlamagne, you're from South Carolina. I told you my family I raised in North Carolina, and in that part of the world we call it the stroke belt, from North Carolina down to Alabama. Primarily because black men in particular have high blood pressure at such an early age, so difficult to control, less likely for African Americans to control their blood pressure than white, that the risk of stroke from that elevated pressure over time causes either a blood clot in one of the arteries to the brain or it just ruptures. Same thing with heart attacks, or similar at least. Over time, the body builds up plaque in the arteries. Plaque is just cholesterol and calcium. Some of it's from our diet. Some of it's genetic. Some of it is accelerated if you have diabetes. In fact, if you have diabetes, you have a 3 times higher risk of dying from a heart attack than someone who doesn't have diabetes. So if you have diabetes, that ought to be like a flashing neon sign. I need to see a cardiologist. And in communities of color, when they have high blood pressure and they have diabetes, when they end up with a heart attack or a stroke, they usually have worse outcomes, a higher risk of dying from it. And if they survive, they're more likely to have a lower functional status, to be in congestive heart failure or to have physical abnormalities that they're not able to do their activities of daily living.
All right, we have more with Dr. Puma. When we come back, don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Good morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Dr. Puma. A lot of people in our community are scared to go to the doctor or can't afford to, don't have insurance. So what are some of the signs that they should look out? Let's start with diabetes. What is a sign of diabetes that people should look out for?
First of all, I would say healthcare should not be just for people well off or people who have insurance. Healthcare should be a right in this country. There's no reason.
I agree.
There's just no reason why we should not treat any human being that needs our help, right? And if you come to any one of our offices, we take care of everyone regardless of their ability to pay. So that's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, high blood pressure and diabetes both, when we're in medical school, we're taught that they're called the silent killers.
Correct.
Because they often don't have symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But when they do, if you have high blood pressure, you might feel flushed sometimes during the day in your face. You might get headaches. Okay? You might have chest discomfort. You might get short of breath. All right? You don't need to go to a doctor. You can go to any pharmacy even, and they have a blood pressure cuff there usually.
Yep.
And they'll check your blood pressure. So a simple screening for that. And remember something, blood pressure diagnosis often peaks in our 30s or in our 50s. So if you're in communities of color and you're in your 30s, you should at least get a screening for blood pressure. Diabetes also very elusive in terms of symptoms. Often the first symptoms a diabetic will feel is that they're very thirsty or they're urinating a lot. And that's because their sugar levels are high and it's making them urinate, which then makes them thirsty. They often feel weak, have a brain fog. They just never feel clear. And again, simple pinprick of your finger can tell you if your sugar is high or low. That you probably do need to go to a doctor to have that checked, or simple blood tests. But the bigger point is simple screening things or just self-awareness. You bring up fear. Fear is a big issue. Fear is a big issue for many people. People don't come to me. It's not like I don't know if you're married or you have kids, but you remember when
we're both married. Yeah,
you met my wife, Dr. Puma.
I can't bring that up again.
Wow, Carolina's okay.
I can't bring that up again. But anyway. But you remember, like the first time you're pregnant and you go to the doctor, everyone's happy and it's an exciting time. When people come to me, they're scared. They're not sure what's going on. Mm-hmm. They may not feel well. They may have a family history. So we have to deal with that fear. One of the ways you deal with that fear is by bringing healthcare to them, as opposed to saying, "Here, I'm in a big fancy building. Come to me. I'm really smart." We go to them. We want to be in their community, and then. If there is an issue where they need a test, make it easy for them. Mm-hmm. Okay? Explain, talk. People are a lot smarter than sometimes we give them credit for. Mm-hmm. And understanding where they're from and trying to learn about them and their family can help kind of bring people together and have an honest conversation.
I think people
wanted you to talk about when I asked you what causes the heart attacks and strokes, I wanted you to talk about like the blockage and how the plaque breaks off and that stuff.
Yeah, so in the coronary artery, so for strokes, if you have high blood pressure, just the high blood pressure, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same as if you have high blood pressure in your water heater at home. If it gets to a certain level, boom, it just pops. Mm-hmm. But in the heart arteries, you can even have a mild to moderate plaque in your arteries, and then some stressor. You're smoking a cigarette one day. You're in an argument with someone. You're having a stressful time at work. It can cause that plaque to rupture and then causes a blood clot. And that's a big challenge. The reason when you asked DJ Envy about who should have the scan, or and we said even in people who are not symptomatic, if they have risk factors, they should have a scan, because 1 in 3 people that have a heart attack find out they have heart disease the day they have their heart attack, and out of those, 1 in 3 die the day they have their heart attack. So it's often unpredictable. So unless you know you have some plaque, then there are strategies, as we discussed, whether it's statin medications, aspirin, counseling to help you maybe stop smoking if you smoke, weight reduction, things of that nature that can help. But heart attacks are, I like to think of it this way. If you're lucky enough to have symptoms, it's kind of like when you're driving your car and the little light goes on and says the tire's running low, right? Usually if you're having symptoms or you see that light, you'll attend to it.
Correct.
So that you don't end up with a blowout, let's say, on the highway. That's like a heart attack. But many people don't have symptoms until the day they have their heart attack.
And I want to read my results that Dr. Soren sent me, because y'all send 5 things after you have the test. It's the images of your coronary heart arteries, your heart flow analysis of the arteries, right? What is that exactly?
So the heart flow analysis is if there is any plaque in the artery. It's Heart Flow is a company based in California that has proprietary AI software that can actually assess the flow to determine if that plaque, that blockage is obstructive, needs to be treated with a stent or bypass, or non-obstructive, needs aggressive medical therapy. It's amazing software. We use it on all our patients, and it's that alone, that software alone has been proven to make you to reduce mortality, increases survival by having the Soren heart scan with heart flow.
And so y'all send the Soren heart scan final report. You send your blood work report, and finally, which I really loved, the 10-year risk of cardiovascular events, which is heart attack, stroke, or death. Now, this is what put my mind at ease. Overall, your results are excellent. Despite a high calcium score for your age, there's only minimal plaque in your heart arteries. Furthermore, your lipid
cholesterol profile?
Yeah, your cholesterol profile is excellent and well below goal on your current statin medication and aspirin, which I would continue. Your blood pressure and heart rate are those of a man 20 years younger. All these factors contribute to a very low 10-year cardiovascular risk of only 3.5%. Optimal for men of your age would be 3%, so you are in very good shape. That put my mind at my heart within the next 15. And I think I got those results the next day.
That's correct.
I think, yeah.
That's correct. So I would flip it back to you.
I would definitely like to sign up, because I definitely would like to make sure that I'm here for my kids. I have 6 kids, so I want to make sure I'm here for my kids.
You'd be welcome to come. And again, I just think the access, making it easy, right? You all are people of means, and but it's for everybody. And you can really make a great impact for people who may have some fear, aren't sure what the entry point is, aren't sure what to do. So I appreciate you inviting me. I appreciate you taking the time and talking about it. And I hope we can help some people.
And where can they get more information or reach you directly?
On our website, sorenmedicalny.com. We're on Instagram. I've never been on any of these things. I've been practicing for over 30 years, but in the past year, all the young folks in our practice have us on Instagram and on the website now. And they can call the office or send us an email. As you saw, we respond right away. We get you in right away, and we give you comprehensive results. And if we think there's something more, we make sure that we shepherd you through your healthcare journey to good health.
Everybody needs to go do this, man. I've had too many friends, either having heart attacks or having strokes over the past few years, or dying of heart attacks and strokes. So you should definitely go to Soren Medical and get the Soren heart scan.
Absolutely. I'm going as soon as I can. And I appreciate you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Joseph Puma, it's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Good news if you're hiring. You've got help. ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter works for you to find great candidates fast. Its smart technology identifies qualified candidates for you, and you can invite your top choices to apply. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/breakfast.
Steady calling my phone. It's topic time. Call 800-585-1051 to join into the discussion with The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Of course, Jess Hilarious is here. She came up with this topic right here.
She said it's not based on a true story, though. You just come here, interrupt and stop playing music, and we on air.
Producer,
you know we on air, Tim. Yes, we are.
Jesus.
They're going to back out all slow.
All right, so the question is...
She home and going into the bushes.
So if your baby daddy and your boyfriend is fighting, who do you help and do you feel bad?
Now, you said you're helping your baby daddy.
Yeah, I have to.
You said because he can't fight.
Yes.
Damn it, man.
Rome is my guy. Like, I have to help him.
Now, how is your boyfriend going to feel about this when he hears this later?
I don't know.
Lord have mercy.
I don't know.
You just be making your life difficult for no reason.
No reason. Because, y'all turned the question back on me. This is for them out there.
You didn't have to answer.
You didn't have to answer.
I know, but it's like...
You gotta let it go.
My God.
Who you helping if your boyfriend and baby daddy fighting, Envy?
John, come on,
answer
John.
this hypothetically, man.
Well, what about you? Who you helping?
What up, DJ Envy? What up, Charlamagne?
I'll let the call answer.
Hey, John, good morning. Now, John, if your baby daddy and your boyfriend start fighting, what you gonna do?
I don't have a baby daddy. I had a baby mama, and my girl was fighting, and I helped out my girl.
Damn.
You helping your girl?
He said it happened.
Yeah, I'm up. Hey, what up, Jeff?
What up, baby? How you doing? You said you helped your girl?
I didn't help my girl, but I let her get her lips in.
I think you should help who loves your child. I think you should help who your child would want you to help.
Yeah, and it's gonna be that parent.
And by the way, I don't think you gotta help any. You just don't let them fight. You get in between them, like, yo, y'all ain't fighting.
Yeah.
So who would you help, Charlamagne?
I would if they needed help. I would help the person I know my child would want me to help. I would help the person if my child was standing there. My child would try to intervene.
No, come on with my child standing there. No, because nobody gonna be fighting in front of the child.
Why not?
No. Now, if they pulled up, if your boyfriend and your baby father got into it, who are you grabbing first?
Saucy Santana.
I'm getting in between both of them.
You get in between, but no, don't ever get in between them two.
You know what I mean? I'm getting in between. I'm breaking them up, but it just depends. I would just stop whoever getting their ass kicked. Whoever getting their ass kicked, I'd be like, yo, cool, I'd pull them off him or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, no, I would help Rome, but Rome would be the reason the fight happened. Because Rome antagonizes. Chris is not going to. He's gonna fight.
Yeah.
But Rome is gonna start it. But I still have to help Rome because Rome has this.
And I think that mean mouth. I think when we mean help, we don't mean we're not helping the fight. We just. Gonna break it up, right? That's what you mean when you say help.
We talk about helping the fight. We talk about helping the fight. Yeah, we helping the fight.
No, yeah.
See, because if you help your baby daddy or your baby mama, you still got to go home to your boyfriend or girlfriend later on, and then they gonna say, yo, why you punch me too?
Well, it's just a boyfriend or girlfriend. That's all y'all said, boyfriend or girlfriend. How serious is it?
Hey,
I'm just asking.
He keep trying to change the story. Oh my gosh.
Hello, who's this?
Good morning, Breakfast Club.
Peace, Jack.
Now, Jack, what you doing?
I'm fighting. I'm kicking it off. He owe me child support. We fighting.
Damn.
I know that's right. Okay.
So you gonna drag your baby
and then
daddy.
I'm going back home to my baby, and I'm gonna be like, yo, did you hear what happened to your dad? It's tragic. But I started it. I'm fighting.
Jesus.
You know what's so crazy about this, man? A lot of these women want their boyfriends to beat up their baby.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God. Chris just texted me.
What did he say?
Hey, good morning, babe.
Good morning.
That's all he said. He ain't here yet.
Hey, good
Jenny,
morning.
good morning.
Morning. Hey, Uncle Charlie.
Peace. What's happening?
What's happening?
Your baby daddy and your boyfriend get into a fight. Who you helping?
I'm helping my baby daddy. It's all about the kids.
Yeah.
That boyfriend can leave anytime. I got to deal with my baby daddy for the rest of my life.
Okay.
We jumping at anything.
Dang, like, do you like your boy? You want him? Do you like your boyfriend?
It's always the baby daddy for me. That's what I got to deal with.
I know that's right.
Okay. Thank you, Mama. Carmen.
Good morning.
Hey, Carmen. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Now, your baby daddy and your boyfriend get into a fight. Who you helping?
I gotta fight both of them.
Oh, so you gonna punch both of them?
Yes, for sure. I'm gonna help my baby daddy because we got kids. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm gonna help my man because that's my man.
That don't even make no damn sense.
If you swinging on everybody and figure out the details later, you know what I'm saying?
So you just hitting both of them?
At this point, because why y'all even got me in this situation anyway?
Why y'all even fighting?
Right, why y'all fighting?
But let me make these tough decisions.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
That is hilarious.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, what's up? This Crystal.
Hey, Crystal. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, we're having an intellectual conversation about baby daddy and boyfriends. Which one you helping if they fight?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. It gotta be. It's two things. It's how long I've been with my boyfriend and who started. Now, me personally, I got a petty baby daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And my guy, I've been with him for 3.5 years. So he's not on no drama stuff, no messy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'ma just assume my baby daddy started it. So I'm gonna side with my because we don't do that drama with his baby mama, my baby daddy. We don't do that. So I just off rip don't know it's my baby daddy. So I'm siding with my always. Or that.
All right. Thank you, mama.
It feels like the baby daddy is more permanent in your life than a boyfriend, though. Because you don't know unless that boyfriend proposes, becomes your fiance, becomes your husband. It feels like the baby daddy is who you should really be.
But like she said, it depends how long they've been together.
It's always dependables. Yeah, like it just depends. Like that. The only reason I'm helping Rome is because I cannot see him get beat up. Not because of the kids. Yeah. Because Ash gonna be like, Dad, you knew you couldn't fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not. That's not a big deal.
Doing that, man?
But seriously,
you gonna make Rome slap something tomorrow. Like Rome gonna be y'all gonna go out. He's just gonna slap somebody just because you say he can't fight.
And you gonna get messed up.
Damn
That's
it,
the thing.
Gonna cause Rome problems in Baltimore all day. Years. Shorty say you can't fight.
Yeah, all right. That's not.
I heard Shorty on Breakfast Club. She said you can't fight.
We do not talk like that. Thank you. Thank you.
Jasmine.
Yes.
Your baby daddy and your boyfriend fighting. Who you helping?
I would watch everything and report it.
Oh, so you gonna sit back and world star it?
Boom.
Yup. World star all day. Watch it, scream, yell, eat some popcorn at the same time.
Who would you want to win?
Honestly, my boyfriend.
Baby daddy got no love this morning.
I know that's right.
Baby daddy needs it, girl.
I know that's right.
What's the moral of the story? If there's a moral.
Moral of the story, Jess?
Don't jump in. The moral of the story is they shouldn't be fighting. That they shouldn't be fighting, and if they do not jump in. Call the police.
Call the police. You don't call the police. Now they want them both get locked up. One might have a warrant. Now they get alert. Now they get arrested. Damn it, Jess.
You damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Just don't fight. I don't think the woman should jump in. Don't help. Even if your bait father can't fight, don't jump in.
Why you keep saying that, man?
No, because I know some people can relate. I beat Rome up before. Yes, and in the younger days.
But he didn't hit you back, I'm sure.
Yes, he did.
Oh, y'all was going at it.
Yes, man, Rome used to get down with the get down. I told you he was cheating on me before he met me. So yeah, that just explains.
Man, that is crazy. If you trying to fight back and you getting beat up by your baby mama.
Like real bad. Like Rome, you can't pick me up.
No.
Like what are we doing?
That ain't funny, but it's funny,
what
man.
Are we doing here?
Lord have mercy.
It's like when we have him up here, because I'm going to interview him. We're going to interview him together.
Let's go.
And we're going to see.
Roll my guy, man.
He be telling the truth. He'll tell you the truth. Yeah, she beat me up a couple times, but that's because I let her.
Now, put me in the headlock one time. Maybe tap out.
Yeah, and she's small. Real little.
She ain't that little now. She was big enough to put me in the headlock. All right.
Don't try to make her no bigger than what she is. She is little, and she puts you in the headlock.
She that little.
Trying to make her big. All of a sudden, she ain't that little. Yes, she is, actually.
All right, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We have Lauren LaRosa, our guest host, and we got a special guest in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Big legend energy.
Kerry Washington.
That's right.
Welcome.
Yes.
Good morning, Miss Washington.
The new book out, Thicker Than Water. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Learned so much about you with this book. First, maybe it's just me being stupid. I didn't know you were from the Bronx.
Really?
I did not know that.
I'm from the Bronx.
I didn't know you were from the Bronx.
Born and raised in the Bronx. Born and raised.
You know what I say? I say the craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida.
Why? What? Why?
Have you seen the news?
I agree on Florida. But why the Bronx?
And people from the Bronx
some of the most talented people
that is true
in the
too.
world come from the Bronx.
That is very true too. Now, how did you know now is the time to write Thicker Than Water?
So what I write about in the book is that a handful of, 5 years ago, my parents sat me down and shared with me some new information about myself that really kind of challenged the way that I thought about myself, that I thought about my family, turned my world upside down. And at the time, I had actually sold another book idea, which was based, kind of inspired by the show that I was on, Scandal. And it was like, these are the 10 things that I learned from Olivia Pope. But every time I sat down to write that book, all I could think about was this new information I'd been given and how it impacted my family and my sense of self. And so I wasn't going to write a book at all. I tried to give the publisher their money back, but they wouldn't take it.
Wow.
And then a few years later, I was like, I think I have to at least try to write this book.
Because you said your parents didn't want you to reveal that information.
Yeah. So my parents told me that they were sort of forced to tell me that my dad is not my biological father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did that affect you? Because I mean, he's still your dad at the end of the day. We've seen the pictures. We've seen you,
the
him
dad
dancing
jokes on Instagram.
Yeah. So how did that affect anything after you were told?
So I think immediately when they told me, it was weird. To be totally honest with you, I felt like excited. I felt excited and grateful because I had always felt like there was something going on in my family that I couldn't put my finger on, but it was like a dynamic of distance, or like I just knew that I didn't know what I didn't know, but I knew that there was something between my parents and I. And because I didn't know what it was, a lot of times I blamed myself for that, or maybe thought I was crazy for thinking it, maybe thought maybe I'm just not open enough. Like I was always trying to figure it out. So when they told me, it felt like, I don't know, it felt like I could breathe. It felt like, oh, this is a real opportunity for me to jump into this new kind of understanding of myself and my life, and it was really exciting.
When you would ask questions about like just different things, like, hey, you go to the doctors and they say, what illnesses are on your mom's side, your dad's side. When you would ask your dad and your mom those questions, how would they answer it?
As if my dad was my father. Wow. They were going to take this to their grave. And I get it. I totally understand, right?
Like, they're protecting you?
Yeah. I think they felt like, well, first of all, let me just say this. My parents are renegades, right? Like a lot of us now, we know people who go to sperm banks, right? It's like very common relatively now. And you get a whole catalog. You can pick the color of the eyes and what Ivy League university they went to. But when my parents did this in the mid-70s, nobody was doing this. This was highly experimental, highly secretive. It was a big risk they were taking. It wasn't like they had complete health screenings for the donor. They had no idea who the donor was. They said, we asked two things. Let him be healthy. Who knows what that means at the time, right? But like, we want him to be healthy and we want him to be black. Wow. Because they wanted this to be a secret. So, yeah.
You talk about your eating disorder and dealing with how you felt about your body and your looks.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what got you in that point. And the reason I ask is I have 4 daughters. Charlamagne has 4 daughters. And I always want to make sure I try my hardest to give my daughter as many compliments as possible, right? Because you never want them to feel that way. But sometimes I don't think that matters because it's also how they look at themselves.
Yeah.
So what got you to that point where you didn't like what you seen in the mirror or something that you weren't happy about?
It's such a good question. I have daughters too, right? So it's something that I think about a lot. I think that the food, it's like any other kind of addictive behavior. It's not about the drug. It's not really about the food or even really about the relationship with body. It came out from a compulsion of trying to escape the feelings I was having or numb them. And so I think for me, it was this sense that I write about in the book of feeling like I had to be perfect. Like I had to be better than who I was in order to be deserving of love. And some of that came from like, why do I have this weird dynamic with my parents? Like, what's going on? Maybe if I was better, prettier, smarter, thinner, then I might be more lovable. So I don't even, I mean, I do think like it's important to teach our kids to make healthy choices when it comes to exercise, to make healthy choices when it comes to food, to teach them about nutrition, about how food works in the body. All that's important. But I think helping a kid to feel unconditionally loved, to feel safe, those are the things that I think help us have the tools to live in life on life's terms, as opposed to grabbing at addictive behaviors to escape life.
Now, I'm jumping all around because I want people to read the book Thinking in Water, but you talked about, always striving for perfection.
Yeah.
But you said Jamie Foxx taught you a very valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that was?
Yeah, I think Jamie, I mean, I've been really lucky. I've been lucky enough to work with Jamie twice on Ray and Django Unchained.
Classics, by the way.
Yeah, truly. He's the best. And Jamie's taught me a lot about a lot of things, but one of the things is in my work as an actor, you have to let go of that perfection idea. Because we were doing a scene together in Ray. It was the scene where speaking of drugs, where I find all his heroin works the first time as his wife. And, you know, we had done it in the morning. We had hit it out of the park. And I was like, oh, we are on fire. This is incredible. And then as the day went on, I kept trying to do it exactly the way we had done it earlier that morning so that it would be in that perfect place that felt so good. And that's the beginning of death as an actor. Like, you can't try to recreate magic. You have to keep cultivating new magic, right? Like, you have to truly be in the moment. And Jamie really helped me to realize I was frustrated in the scene, and he was like, you gotta keep digging. You gotta let go of this morning. And that was a really powerful lesson for
Why
me.
was it easier to find that in acting as opposed to real life?
Well, I guess I hadn't learned how to apply that to the rest of my world. You know, there was like, it was in a vacuum, it was an isolated kind of moment. But it's a good question. I mean, that is the lesson though, right? Is that like, the answer is never about perfection. It's always about like, what's the best possible version of my life in this moment, of me in this moment.
Now, you did say something. I heard you say that parents do the best that they can, and then it's up to us to parent ourselves after that. Explain that.
Well, I think like one of the things that I've truly come to terms with in writing this book is that every choice my parents made was out of love. They weren't trying to be cruel. They weren't trying to hurt me. They really thought that this was the best choice. And by the way, doctors back then said it. Like, artificial insemination was so new. They would say, you do this thing and then you go home and have sex. And then you have plausible deniability. And nobody knew 40 years ago there would be these home tests, 23 and Ancestry. You had no idea. So they were like, go home and have sex. Then the kid's yours. End of story. Nothing to talk about, right? And so I think my parents didn't want me to feel different. They didn't want me to feel weird. They didn't want me, ironically, they didn't want me to feel distance from them, even though that's what wound up happening. So I know that they made loving choices, or choices out of love, even if they didn't feel loving to me. But I think we have to, for me in my journey, it's been like, it's been good to understand who they were, to have compassion for their choices, but I can't blame them for where I am now. Like, now that I have awareness, I have to say like, okay, they gave me everything they could with as much love as they could. How do I now close the gap between what they gave me and what I need? That's my responsibility as an adult. If I just sit here and continue to complain about what they didn't give me, then I'm keeping myself a child.
All right, we got more with Kerry Washington. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Our special guest co-host Lauren LaRosa is here, and we're still kicking it with Kerry Washington. Lauren.
What's that conversation like with your kids? Like, once you decided to take this world to your kids, and even deciding to write the book, and now you're, you know, because your kids, I'm sure they're friends and everybody knows who you are. So how do you have that conversation with them, and kind of how are they responding to things?
You know, it's funny. Like I was saying before, this is so common now. Like, it's not news to my kids. They were so unimpressed. Like, you know, they're in their classes, they have kids with 2 dads and 2 moms. So they have friends from sperm donors, friends from egg donors, friends who are adopted, friends who were born from surrogates. Like, they also, like, we're a blended family, right? Their big sister, you know, when you would look at the 3 of them, their big sister has 4 parents. Like, having another parental figure in my story is not weird to them. For my parents, they came from a world where what makes a family was very different. But the ideas of what makes a family now is much more open. So, you know, they know. Obviously, the conversation I have with my 17-year-old is very different than the conversation I have with my 6-year-old.
Right.
But I want to be a home where we're open and honest, and where they feel like they can ask anything.
What about when you decided to, because I know in this book you talk about the abortion that you had at 20.
Yeah.
That is something that is like
in
so...
my 20s. I don't
in
know
your
if
20s.
yeah.
But I mean, it's around Save the Last Dance time, right?
Yeah.
So you were, you know, highly successful at this time.
I know, but it's in a chapter that I call Black Famous, because I was like, I mean, you know how we are. Like, white people didn't necessarily know that the girl from Save the Last Dance was the same girl from Ray, was the same girl from Last King of Scotland.
Right.
So we knew, but so yes, I was, my star was on the rise, but I wasn't like, I could still go to the grocery store and it was all good.
I love your self-awareness. Did you realize you were Black Famous when you were Black Famous? Or was that in hindsight?
No, in the moment.
Okay.
Because I knew... You know, it was like I knew I could walk down the street on 57th and Madison and be fine. But if I was in the Bronx, it was like, oh my God, that's Chanel. Or like at the time, I was a substitute teacher in New York City public schools. That was one of my many side hustles when I was trying to make a living as an actor. And it was funny because I would get hired into the school, and the principals who were white, the principals, vice principals, they would be like, so nice to meet you, great. They bring me to the classroom. They had no idea who I was. But then I would be asked to leave a school because by the second day, all the kids were cutting class to see Chanel from Save the Last Dance because they knew who I was because I was substitute teaching in Harlem. So it was like that dynamic. I understood that certain people knew who I was and other people didn't.
What's more fulfilling, being black famous or white famous?
I think you have to have both. That was one of the things that Chris Rock taught me. Like you can never ever forget your core original first audience.
That's
you
right.
cannot, because that other audience will come and go. There'll be ebbs and flows, but black people will hold you up throughout. If you stay with us, we stay with you.
I feel like that's what made Scandal such a hit.
Absolutely. I mean, we were part of the birth of Black Twitter at the time. So one of my best friends from high school, she's a brilliant social media person, Allison Peters. She actually convinced me to go on Twitter, and I was like, what? Why? I don't know. And she was like, she had come out of Viacom and was like, it's really important, you need to do this. And she and I kind of talked Shonda Rhimes into talking the cast into being on Twitter. And we were one of the first shows to do live tweeting and to really have event television at a time where people were no longer watching shows in real time unless it was like a basketball game. And so that conversation around the show was our grassroots movement. Like, we had Black Twitter on fire. People like Oprah eventually were like, I only started watching Scandal because it's the only thing people talked about on Thursday nights on Twitter. So yes, in that first season, it was absolutely because black audiences, you know how culture follows us.
That's right.
So
Right.
black audiences made it that you had to be there to tune in, and suddenly it trickled out into the rest of the world.
How often do people come up to you to fix thinking that you can
think you really Olivia Pope?
I can't ask about the dance, but you can ask about the Olivia Pope.
All the time. And to be honest, because the show was inspired by a real woman, Judy Smith, who's a real DC fixer who never slept with the president, but was a real fixer. And I have her on speed dial. So people also will come to me to get to her.
Wow.
Because they know she is truly able to fix stuff.
Have you needed her?
I haven't needed her, but I've
Okay.
sent other people to her.
Gotcha.
Yes. But I've talked to her. I mean, like, not on like a, I'm in jail, it's 2 a.m., help me out. But like, you know, if there's a rollout of a movie and I'm like, I don't know, this director, he's a little bit of a problem. What do you think? You know, I've had those kind of conversations with her. Yeah. But people do, you know, it's funny, like, it'll happen in political moments. Like, a lot of my political work now is inspired by the fact that in 2016, the morning after the election, when that awful rapist, racist person was elected, that when I woke up, all over social media, people were like, you have to save us. What are you gonna do? Please, Olivia Pope. And it was funny for a minute. And then I was like, we have a real problem in our culture because we don't realize that Olivia Pope is an imaginary character on a television show, and that every single person who wrote one of those tweets, they have more power than Olivia Pope because she can't vote. She can't register voters. She can't volunteer. She can't knock on doors. But it's like we've given our power over to imaginary people because we have this hero worship, right? So we're not stepping into our power because we're looking for somebody else to solve our problems for us. So a lot of the work that I've been doing has been trying to figure out how to turn the spotlight that's on me onto those grassroots organizations and people who are really doing the work.
So when people saw you with the vice president the other day,
Yeah.
they probably was the
They
same
went crazy.
thing.
Yeah. She's back.
She's back.
She's at the White House. Yeah.
I want to ask one more question about your father. How did finding out your father wasn't your biological father change your views on parenthood?
Oh, man. Well, one thing I say in the book is, and it's what I feel, is that in our community where people have historically had such difficult relationships, right, where there's this history of dads maybe not being present. You know, in the neighborhood that I grew up in one of the few households where the dad was around, and, you know, my parents were still married. And the fact, looking back, that my dad really did choose me, that he was there, he's been there for me the whole time, that he's been this, you know, parental force in my life, that he's my dad, that he chose me, that I belong to him and he belongs to me. It almost meant more than it ever did before. And I feel really grateful.
Mhm.
You know,
Now you
next level.
you contemplated suicide at one point.
Yeah,
Well, what got you there first of all, and then how did you get through it? Because I'm sure there's people listening now that might be in that same zone and trying to work themselves through it every day. So what got you to that point where you felt that way, and then how did you get over that obstacle?
When you say there might be people listening who feel that way, it's like my heart breaks because I just know how hard it is to feel that alone and that hopeless. So if anybody's listening and is feeling that way, the one thing I would say is to ask for help. You know, is to really ask for help, because you feel alone, but I guarantee you are not alone.
That's right.
And for me, that was the big thing. I mean, number one, it was the first time that I truly got on my knees and talked to God and was like, I need help. Because I felt like I really don't have any tools. I don't know what to do. So it was the first time that I think I humbled myself enough to feel like there's got to be something bigger than me that points me in the direction of healing. And I started reaching out. I went to therapy for the first time, group therapy, one-on-one. Like I just really started committing to trying to walk this road of healing.
I swear by it. I swear by therapy.
Yeah.
All right, we got more with Kerry Washington. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Our special guest co-host Lauren LaRosa is here. And we're still kicking it with Kerry Washington. Charlamagne?
You talking about traveling. In the Black Famous chapter, you talk about going to Africa.
Yeah.
To become African. How did that trip change you?
So I was filming Last King of Scotland. That was my first time on the continent. And it was great because I do feel like sometimes as Black people in America, we go to Africa with all these like, do I belong here? Do I feel at home? Like, what is my relationship here? And I just had to put all of that aside because my focus was on just kind of dropping in and becoming a Ugandan woman. And I really did feel at home there.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I felt so lucky to be able to be so immersed in the culture that I wasn't there like, you know, as a tourist. And I took when I was there, I don't know if you've heard about this experience. It's not in the book, but we were hiking in the Ruwenzori Mountains, which are the mountains that border Rwanda and Uganda. And it's where the only wild gorillas live. And you can go out with a gorilla trekker and find the gorillas in the jungle and spend time with them. You go with like a tour guide and these trekkers and these guys with AK-47s just in case.
Now do you see why Charlamagne said the craziest people are from the Bronx?
I was just thinking, like, you really be walking
people travel
to the
from all over the world.
AK-40s.
People travel from all over the world to have this experience because it is one of the most intense spiritual experiences I've ever had. The second one is my experience with the whales that I write about at the end of the book. But it was like to be in the jungle, to be with these creatures, and you realize we really do share like 98% of our DNA with these animals. And you start to think like, oh, they're so human, but no, like we are so gorilla. And the craziest thing that happened was when they give you this orientation in the morning, they're like, if a gorilla gets close to you and is looking at you, the most important thing to do is not run. You have to feel safe, act like a gorilla. So I was like, wait a second.
I couldn't do that around the white people.
Wait a second.
I can tell you that right now.
I didn't hear it through that lens because for me, I was like a young actor who had done animal exercises at school. Like this was my opportunity this was my Meryl Streep moment.
Wow.
So when the gorilla came down from the tree, I was like, I squat down. I mean, everybody in my group was like, what is she? When I tell you that is the best performance of my life, I was the gorilla. The gorilla was me. I picked off a leaf, started chewing on it, and we had the most incredible experience because this gorilla kept getting closer and closer to us. And this little baby gorilla, she was so curious. She was like, "What? We've never seen a human like this."
We don't act like that.
No, she was like, "That one's one of us, but with clothes."
So what did the gorilla do?
They got closer. The trekker said than they'd ever had a gorilla get to a group before. I mean, the guy with the AK-47 came right next to me because they were terrified. But I was like, "Don't stop! Don't stop!" What? Yeah, it was incredible.
Were you the only person acting like a gorilla?
Yeah.
How do you know they didn't tell you that just to be funny? Just because they know you
because the experience that we got out of it. I mean, they said it to everybody in the group, but I was the best actor in the group.
Got you.
Wow.
Yeah.
When all of this is done, like everybody gets the book, they get to read it.
Everybody should get the book.
They will.
I read the audio book. It's me in my own words, so that's fun.
What is the hug or the message that you want people to get from this book?
I think, and this is something that I've written in the book, but there's a saying I heard a long time ago that I really love, that we are as sick as our secrets.
That's right.
And that when we can let go of the things that keep our true selves hidden, we can let go of our shame. You know, I knew when my parents told me, I realized that they had been living under this lie for so long that every time I had said I love you to my dad, whether it was conscious or unconscious, there must have been a part of him that thought, she loves me because she thinks I am her father.
Wow.
And there must have been a part of him that thought, if she knew I wasn't her father, maybe she won't love me. That's part of why they didn't tell me. And so I had the opportunity, once they gave me that truth, to actually, for the first time, love my father unconditionally. And that's what we all deserve. That's what we all want. We want to know that no matter what we do or how we act or what we've done in the past, that we're lovable and that we're loved. And I feel like my family's in that place now, but you only get there when you expose your truth. When you're vulnerable enough to show people who you are and they love you anyway, then you know that you are worthy of unconditional love.
But I think your father proved that, you know, just because somebody provides sperm doesn't make them a father.
Yeah, that's right.
He's an actual
Yeah,
father. Like, I think there's a big lesson to be learned.
That's right. That's right. And it's even like people will say like, well, do you know who your biological father is? And I'm still wrapping my head, honestly, around that language. Like,
do you want to know who the donor is?
I was literally about to ask you that.
I do. I'm searching. I'm looking. And again, not because I need a daddy, right? Like, I'm not looking for an emotional connection. I'm really open. I mean, I say that now. Who knows? You never know. Like, he could walk in the room and I could be like, ah. But I think I'm just really curious about that 50% of me, that genetic 50% of me. I think there is a question. I know what I've gotten from my dad. I know from my dad I've gotten my sense of humor, my imagination, my belief in the impossible, my ability to tell a story. I know what I've gotten from my mom, my intellect, my intellectual curiosity, my grace, my compassion. I don't know what I've gotten from the donor. I'm curious what part comes from him. And I'm curious just in terms of my medical history. I feel like I owe that to my kids, that they should know where they come from. But the emotional part of it, I'm open to let it be what it's going to be. Maybe it'll feel like I have additional family. Maybe it'll just feel like I have additional information. I feel good either way.
Can we end with something you said in the epilogue? And I feel like it can relate to so many people. You say, my life is not about my donor nor about my parents. My life is my own. What does that mean to you, and what could that mean to others?
Yeah. So when my parents told me this information, I realized, because they had built this narrative, this false narrative about where I came from, I realized that in many ways, I had been the supporting character in their story, right? Like, they were living this life. They were Earl and Valerie, parents of this beautiful child, successful middle-class black family. Like, I was the supporting character in that fable. And when they gave me the truth, I felt like part of why I wanted to write the book was that it was time for me to step into being the lead character in the story of my life, to not let my life belong to them, to say, like, I deserve to be on this journey, this quest, because I have my own story. Like, I get it. You had 4 decades of living this your way, but it's my turn to kind of take this narrative and figure out what my life means for me. So I love my parents. I do love being a supporting character in their life, but that has to be a choice. I have to know that fundamentally my life is my own, and that they, because I have the most incredible parents, they now have the opportunity and have allowed themselves to be supporting characters in my story. And a lot of what I've learned about parenting has been about that choice on their part, because they have allowed themselves to be supporting characters for me in this moment, which is humbling for all of us, but them in particular, right? And as I look forward at my kids, I realize this is my moment. Like, this book, I am the protagonist of this book, but I'm also the supporting character in the story of my kids. And I want them to know that I have their back and that they have to live their own life. They shouldn't be living in the ways that make me comfortable. They shouldn't be making choices that are for my own good. They have to make the right choices for them in the way that I'm making the right choices for me now.
Well, we appreciate you for joining us this morning. Thicker Than Water is out right now.
Yeah, well, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Chicago, D.C., Atlanta, LA. I'm going to be in conversation with Gabrielle Union, Tyler Perry, Bellamy Young, Tony Goldwyn. It's an incredible lineup. So come see us out on the road.
Get her out of here. She's holding in a cough.
That's right.
I feel lighter already. I don't know where I feel lighter.
It's Kerry Washington.
Yeah, amazing.
Freedom. Yes.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Are you someone who knows you don't have to sacrifice comfort for quality? Someone who lives large in life and in the bedroom. Then live large. And now thinner with new Magnum Raw condoms. The thinnest Magnum condom available where condoms are sold.
Make sure you tell them to watch out for Florida, man.
The craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida. Yes, you are a donkey.
A Florida man attacked an ATM for a very strange reason. It gave him too much money. Florida man is arrested after deputies say he rigged the door to his home in an attempt to electrocute his pregnant wife. Police arrested an Orlando man for attacking a flamingo.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
Donkey of the day with Charlamagne the God. I don't know why y'all keep letting him get y'all like this.
Well, Duval, it's your own people, okay? Donkey of the day goes to Renee Dawn Skoglund. I know I pronounced her last name wrong, okay? But Renee is from Florida, ladies and gentlemen. And what does your Uncle Charla always say about the great state of Florida? The craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida, and today is no exception, okay? Renee is 30 years old, and she will spend 2 years under community control, which is a form of house arrest, 8 years on probation, and will have to pay a fine of more than 17 grand. And personally, I don't think that is enough. In fact, I think she should get actual prison time. Why, Uncle Charla? Why are you wishing prison time on this woman? Well, let's go to Fox 13 Tampa for the report, please.
South Dakota resident Renee Skoglund is far from home and in legal hot water that even surprised the judge.
This is really unbelievable.
Skoglund's trail of lies started when she decided to come to Tampa Bay and cheat on her husband.
That she felt guilty about this due to her marital status, and she wanted to get checked for sexual transmitted diseases.
But she wanted to get tested for free, so she decided to call 911. Skoglund made up a story about having car trouble and pulling over on the side of the road.
An unknown male approached her.
Because her face was covered, she couldn't describe her attacker. When police checked her cell phone and found this Walmart surveillance video of Skoglund buying the rope herself, she confessed to making the whole thing up. She was charged with making a false police report and decided to take a plea deal.
She's not even from Florida. She's from South Dakota. Came to Florida and became a Florida fool because it's in the water. All right? This woman made up a false rape report in Florida to get a free STD test. Let's just sit here for a second and take that in. Me like my Palo Santo. Just think about that. Renee made up a false rape report in Florida to get a free STD test. Believe all women, huh? Define all. Okay, that's what we should have asked when that foolish ass slogan became part of our lexicon. What do you mean by all? Because women like Renee can't possibly be under the umbrella of all, correct? I have so many questions. Why didn't she just go to the clinic? Okay, I did some research, and by research I mean Google, and all I did was type in free STD testing in Florida. It's a whole website called saferstdtesting.com. It tells you all the clinics that are near you. It says right here, if you're looking for cheap STD testing clinics in the state of Florida to get an HIV, herpes, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, or hepatitis screening for yourself or your partner, you can get tested today by selecting an option below to find an affordable STD test clinic near you. Same-day STD testing locations also available with results in 1 to 2 days. Why didn't you just go to a free clinic? Now, Renee at the time was married, and she lied about this sexual assault in an attempt to get a free STD test after she had a one-night stand in Tampa. So she cheated on her husband, felt guilty about it, so she decided to go get checked out for an STD, and instead of just going to a doctor or a clinic, she decided to lie about being raped so she could get a free STD test? Renee, what was your plan B? Okay, if that was plan A, what was plan B? This couldn't have been the only plan. Not to mention, you lied about a rape claim so you could get a free STD test, so clearly you hard on money, but you had money to buy rope. We looked it up. The hollow braid rope that she bought is $22. Okay, how much is an STD test in Florida? According to Google, the cost of an STD test will vary by location and test type. Some clinics, usually community or nonprofit clinics, offer free or low-cost testing. Labs, clinics, and at-home testing companies may accept insurance to cover or lower your cost of testing, and lab testing fees range from $8 to $150. You had money for an STD test, okay? I saw other sources say that an STD test in Florida is $55. The test covers syphilis and HIV, chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes test, $45. All I'm saying is, if you had money for rope, you could have gotten some money for an STD test. Hell, you had money to travel from South Dakota to Tampa to creep in the first place, okay? Renee, what about condoms? which you too can get free from the clinic, all right? 2 words for you, Renee. Planned Parenthood. They can help you get condoms and other birth control methods for free. Is that where inflation is taking us now? Where people can't even afford to cheat? Huh? What happened to the good old days when, you got an STD and blamed it on your significant other? We used to be a country. We are getting away from traditional values, not to mention you nasty, Renee. Not only are you a despicable human who would lie about being raped, you slept with your little side piece unprotected. Bareback, shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yay. You fought bare knuckle in the club and thought you lost. That's why you went to go get an STD test. Okay? Lock this woman up. All right? Put her under the jail. There's too many women out here who are real victims who actually are dealing with the real trauma of being sexually assaulted. And you out here lying simply because you cheated on your husband and did the raw dog roulette with another man? Huh? Please give Renee Dawn Skoglund the biggest hee-haw. What a world we live in, man.
It's wild.
You want to play a game?
I do.
All right, let's play a game of Guess What Race She Is? All right. Renee Dawn Skoglund from South Dakota traveled all the way to Tampa, Florida, so she could do the raw dog roulette with a side piece. Thought she caught an STD, so she lied about being raped so she could get a free STD test. Mona, guess what race she is?
She is a Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountain.
One of Yakub's finest creations, Mona says.
Jesus.
Okay. DJ Envy.
White.
Well, don't call me white girl. And DJ Envy.
Yes, sir.
You are both correct. Renee is Caucasian. She got made by Yakub on her ass cheeks.
Jesus.
All right.
What did I win?
Nothing.
Oh.
You didn't win nothing. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa is our special guest, and we have Omar Epps here. But also, Ebony K. Williams will be joining us next hour. And we talked about some statements that she said, and Lauren LaRosa was talking about it. A lot of people were very passionate, so she's here to discuss. So if you want to talk to Ebony K. Williams, she's going to be joining us. You could get on the phone lines right now, 800-585-1051. But right now, let's get back into our conversation with Omar Epps. All right, Charlamagne?
I love what you just said about the movies, because I think about it even with a series like this, because I saw you said you wish this book existed when you was a child.
Yeah.
I don't know when the series is going to end, but endings are very important, because I think a lot of times in this art, we talk about the problems, but we never talk about the solutions, and there never seems to be a happy ending, whether it's Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, whatever it was, Juice. There's really no happy ending.
Well, I think maybe because they're trying to teach a certain lesson, a certain angle of the lesson, and then that's making me think about certain songs where, like, they're not showing the glamorous part, they're showing the other part. Like we used to see in the Rich and Poes and all of them and all of that fly stuff, but they're not showing you the heartache that comes along. And so I think things are necessary. With Nubia, I do have the ending, but it also is an entryway into film, television, animation, everything you could think of. I have story points that we want to hit. So it's essentially I've created my own universe that hopefully one day can be akin to like Marvel.
That's what pains me about the Nubia series, though, because I love science fiction and I do feel like it needs to be a film or TV show. I don't know if Hollywood will ever make a real investment into sci-fi led by black people.
I'm not waiting on Hollywood.
Okay.
If I was waiting on Hollywood, the book would have never been written.
Absolutely.
So we gonna do what we do, which is find a way. We made a delicacy out of the scraps, meaning they threw us pig intestines and we made chili.
Yeah, he was talking about chili.
And we made them so good. They was like, "Hey, can you make me a plate?"
Word up.
This is what we do. So hopefully it is in my lifetime. I mean, this is what I'm doing it for. But there's when I say there's more of us, I'm not talking about a color. I mean like-minded. There are more like-minded people than what we see portrayed in the news and in blogs and stuff like that. So when people put their money where their mouth is and really support one another, then it enables us to go to those next levels to where we don't have to be fully dependent on other systems.
Absolutely.
Now, the three main characters of the book, I don't want to say their names wrong, but
Uzochi, Lencho, and Zuberi.
Thank you. So they are of this first generation to discover these powers.
Yes.
When I read about that part of it, it made me think about like just being first generation, coming from certain like I'm first generation college student or whatever, and you realize that you really can be put in a dark room and find the light, right? What is the message in this book to the first generation of anything, like the students, the kids, I'm first generation to go to college, I'm first generation to buy a house. What message?
First generation millionaires.
Yeah, like what do they take away from this book?
I mean, there's a lot of things that take. I think the one of the main themes for me is the idea of unity. Cats will spend $2,500 on a belt because it has a certain name on it. But if Envy, Shirt Kings, or like Fubu and them back in the day, Supreme and them back in the day, they say, yo, the belt was $500. We like, from you?
Too much for your brand.
Right. I'm going to go spend triple over there. Same quality.
Right.
And then you elevate and you be like, oh, they make all of these bags and stuff in the same factories. Same materials, same everything. But because we're blinded by a name, which comes with a perception, we don't know how to stand for ours. Like, no, we have the spending dollar, so we're going to spend here where it really matters. And as Killer Mike Salute always talks about, keeping the dollar circulating amongst us first before it goes out, right? So the theme of unity on every level. And the other thing I really want the young reader to take away is all the answers are already inside of you.
That's right.
I think we're born into this world in perfect harmony and in perfect balance. Like if we look at the creation, the world as we know it, everything that's alive is like an instrument, and it's this magnificent symphony, and everything plays a part, from an ant to an elephant to a tree. Everything plays a part. The only thing that seems to be playing out of tune is human beings. We're the ones playing out of tune, playing the wrong notes. So I say that to say that the answers are already inside, right? They already are permeating through you physiologically and spiritually. Part of the conundrum of life is to then you sort of unlearn what is innately in you, product of environment, schooling, all of these things. And then you spend your latter life unlearning that to get back to the source. So I imagine a world where right now college is a 4-year process. What if one day college is a year process? What could that person do with that other 3 years in terms of being productive? And if you put a bunch of those type of people together, I mean, we still marveling over, I don't know, Twitter and Facebook. It's like, they ain't curing cancer though.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, for real.
What happened? What do we do in a world where like Tylenol, you can cancer, don't matter what kind. Oh, just go to the pharmacy. That's $5. Ain't nothing.
Right.
Imagine how much more productive we could be as a species. Like the fact that we're in 2024 and people are still hung up on skin color. And again, I don't mean white, black. This is light skin, dark skin stuff. Oh, that's some light skin stuff. Me and Marlon deal with that all the time. You call it beige.
No, but he be in here.
It is some light skin stuff.
But it ain't his fault.
Right.
No, and every time it happens,
it's what we was taught.
Every time it happens, we give him grace. We give him grace. We give him grace.
Charlamagne does the same thing, and I say his complexion, they attack me. But he called me beige rage, beige, everything under the sun.
It's because of your
and
behavior
it's funny.
Matches that.
But if I say black anything to him,
yeah, you can't do it.
See why? But I'm black.
But what you are black.
Exactly. So what's the problem?
But this is what I'm talking about. The fact that we all
Dominican.
I'm not Dominican. Stop it. You better stop it.
You don't even claim
Stop
it.
it.
Claim.
Stop it.
Charlamagne, I gotta stop you there. You look more Dominican than he.
Thank you.
You been to Washington Heights lately?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Now, what Omar said is so true, and it's amazing to me that most things that are man-made take you out of alignment.
Yep.
And I don't understand that.
I mean, it makes sense though, right? It does make sense.
Yeah.
That's why when people get caught up in this AI, I'm like, it's being made, so there's flaws in it. We just can't see it yet.
Right. Yeah.
There ain't nothing to trip over. You know what I mean? And it's about being in tune with who we are and who we're here to be. And what is our purpose? And our purpose is to spread love and spread positive energy. And you get to a point where we all are. We still have ambition. We still have drive, but we pushing. It's a hell of a thing to be pushing for yourself and then push for others. When you're pushing for others, now you're really serving your purpose. And it's a fulfillment that no dollar amount could fill. When just passing off the information or the knowledge to someone and then go and see them walk, run, and then fly, it's just a feeling that to me, this is what life is about. One of the grand themes that life is about.
The older I get, the less I want.
Here you go.
You know, because the things that I actually want, money can't buy. They're not superficial in any way, shape, or form.
There you go.
All right, we got more with Omar Epps when we come back. Don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We have Lauren LaRosa here, our special guest host. Still kicking it with Omar Epps. With you having 3 kids, would you want your 3 kids to be in the industry, acting or music? Would you want them seeing what you've seen? Because you've seen behind the scenes. You pull the curtain back. So would you want them to do that?
I mean, I'm human, so I think whatever it is, I don't care if you a race car driver, mechanic, bus driver. Like, we all want our kids to do something other than what we
be great.
You know what I mean? Be great at that thing. But underneath it all, I just want them to follow their passion. You know, whatever brings them joy. If it's, you know, our youngest daughter, she's a singer-songwriter. That's her gift. But she's putting in the work for it. And that's the main thing. You know, nothing's going to come to you easy. But if you're putting in the work for it and that's your passion, I'm behind it.
See, it's good in situations like that because mom and dad have been there. So you can guide where maybe you didn't have that guidance because maybe your mom didn't know how to look at contracts and know what to look for. You know what I mean? So It's good that you're there. But it's just, you know, it's a difficult thing because you're like, damn, the stress that I went through dealing with this industry.
Yeah, but you know what? What you're saying is right in essence, but realistically, it's a totally different world. Because there's a completely different universe from selling a physical record to a stream and the business in between that.
Correct.
It's a whole different world. So it's like, yeah, your moms did that, but not like this.
Is she momager?
Huh?
Like, are you guys like managing?
Oh, momager.
Like, yeah, like
you act like mom's not right here.
Because he mentioned herself.
She's a heavy-handed advisor.
That's what I
wouldn't say momager.
Heavy-handed advisor.
All right, heard you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite method of storytelling? Is it TV, is it films, or is it books?
It depends on the story. You know, like when I was thinking of Nubia, I saw film, I saw television, I saw all these things, but I knew that's not the delivery system right now. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to crawl through this process. Crawl, and meaning a good thing. Like, there's just so much story. The depth of the story can only be done in book form in its initial phase. Once that's established to an audience and they're familiar with, oh yeah, that's the blah 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 blah, then we can take it other places. And so we're still in, this is phase 1, if you will. But other than that, I just love art, man. It doesn't matter. Like I said earlier, like, I think there's an art to cooking. There's an art to everything. There's an art to business. You know, it just depends on, you know, what you connect to and what makes you happy. And for me, the prime goal is like, I realize the weight of everything that I'm a part of is going to outlast me. So why am I really doing this? Who am I doing it with? It's not just a self-fulfilling thing anymore. You know what I mean? Like, the greatest compliments to this day, the greatest compliments that I receive was when people come up to me and say something that I was in, you know, helped them through or inspired them to. I had a young doctor come up to me and was talking about a show that I was on, a medical show I was on, and they were just like, the portrayal of that character helped them through a tough time while they were in med school ready to give up. And to me, that was like getting a $1 million check, because I'm like, this is exactly what I do it for. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to pass on what was passed on to me.
I really did want to know how you wrap your mind around what's going on in 2098.
I mean, to me, it's simple. I think humans are gonna human. And then geographically, like, again, whatever happens in the next 20, 30 years, there's going to be a world after that. So that's creative license. Well, I see it kind of looking at, sadly, if we take a cue from what happened with Sandy, the lower part of the city would be underwater. And then same rules apply. Where's all the money at now? Uptown. All right, let's ramp that up a little bit more. Humans have fused with technology. You get to take creative license, but the more things change, the more they stay the same, man. You know what I'm saying? Like in the hood, everybody want to talk about New World Order. No, it's one world order. That's the actual term. And that's been for thousands of years. There's always going to be a group of few that try to control the many. It ain't nothing new. There's no conspiracy. It's right there, dead in front of your face. It's just how you perceive it.
That's real.
You know what I mean? But there's something to perceive as well, is that the victory's already won. And whether the listeners, whether you a believer or not, I'm not, putting my beliefs on anyone. I'm a believer, and the victory's already won. The table of victory with the most beneficent is already set. So there's a part of us that we've gone through the motions. Choose your side, choose wisely, and live your life. And your character is determined by your actions. Period. You know what I mean? So, hopefully when it's my time, my actions will be met by the eternal glory.
You play so many iconic roles. Does it ever bother you when somebody calls you one of the names from the iconic roles? Like, I'm sure you walk down the hall and like, Q! You know what I mean? Does that bother you?
I love it. That doesn't bother me at all.
They're going to start doing it.
No, that doesn't bother me at all. I'm cool with that.
What bothers you?
When people call me like, yo, Makai, I'm like, that's my mans and all that, but I know we look alike. They say we all, but come on, bro.
It could be worse.
They even like,
they could have said Charlamagne.
They like, yo, Mike. I'm like, Mike Epps.
That's cool. Oh, that's nuts.
Well, I'm like, come on, yo. Like, that's the
I can see Makai, but not Mike Epps.
Like, where is this happening? Like, you just
all
out and
over.
about?
It's just random. Like, sometimes I wonder if people are just, it's like if someone saw you and they're like, oh, I know. And
You got called Will I Am?
Somebody
I did get called Will I Am.
That was great.
Yeah.
Charlamagne says he gets called Morris Chestnut, but nobody ever heard it.
Morris Chestnut said that. You know what's
Morris
interesting?
Chestnut said somebody called him Charlamagne?
He said on Jennifer Hudson, so he said he gets mistaken for me.
That's a goddamn lie.
He said that.
Do you see
Why
it?
you mad at God?
Tell me. Do you see it?
I'm God engineering. I'm just going to resign this. God put us on the same
Now why you mad at God?
Why are you upset about it?
You saw the Dominican in him. Do you see it?
Knock it off.
He definitely, y'all got to take him up to Washington Heights.
I'm not taking
I got to go now.
Yeah. We did have a debate about who the best Omar Epps character was. I think your best role is Jay Reed in Too Deep. I think that's a very slept on role.
That was dope.
How about I haven't done it yet?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. It's Omar Epps. We appreciate you for joining us, brother.
Yes.
Books out right now. Nubia, The Reckoning. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Are you someone who knows you don't have to sacrifice comfort for quality? Someone who lives large in life and in the bedroom. Then live large. And now thinner with new Magnum Raw condoms. The thinnest Magnum condom available where condoms are sold.